I've installed Linux on Macs, but today I'm installing macOS Tahoe on my old gaming PC. What could possibly go wrong? Spoiler, it worked. And of course I had to try gaming, editing, and so on. Anyway, this meticulous operation is called hackintoshing, and I've actually attempted it before, but failing miserably because of my NVIDIA GTX 1070 GPU. But a friend recently gave me their old PC and it has an RTX 480 in it, which is apparently quite compatible with hackintoshing. Okay, but how the hell am I going to do this? I'm not a terminal wizard. Well, luckily there's a tool that will do most of the work for me, and it's called OpenCore Simplify. This tool will build a custom EFI, which is absolutely necessary as macOS of course isn't meant to be compatible with non-Apple systems. So let's go to the OpenCore Simplify GitHub and download this zip file. Let's move it to the desktop so I know where it is and get rid of these and extract. Go in here and open the script. Right, it's a Python script, so we need Python. That makes sense. Python Windows download? Damn, it's been years since I've installed anything on Windows. Setup was successful. What's the stable path limit? Probably not important. Now we should just be able to open it. Oh, there it is, OpenCore Simplify. So we have this list and I think we just need to go through them one by one. So, 1. Ensure you're using the latest version of Hardware Sniffer. Drag and drop or type E to export. E? Oh, it downloads the sniffer. All of these say up to Tahoe, so that's promising. Select macOS version. Well, I want Tahoe, so 25. Required kernel extension. Select audio text for your system. I'm going with 1. And we're back at the start menu. The hardware report is there. macOS version Tahoe, good. SM BIOS, Mac Pro 7.1. Oh, this must mean the Mac model that we're tricking macOS into believing that my PC is. Mac Pro 7.1. Yeah, close enough I guess. I kinda miss my iMac Pro now. Anyway, we should be ready to build the EFI, so 6. Please consider these risks carefully before Yeah, I'm not reading that essay. Continue with OpenCore Legacy Patcher. Ooh, my old friend. Yes, it's doing stuff. Enter the ID of the codec layout you want to use. Default is 11. I trust that. OpenCore EFI build complete. Nice. Please complete the following steps. Use USB toolbox to map USB ports. Yes, because macOS will think that I have a Mac Pro, we need to make sure that it doesn't think my ports are the same as on that Mac Pro. Will it do it for me? Enter. Oh, it will. Here's our custom EFI. If this indeed works, hats off to the people behind OpenCore Simplify. Okay, so now that we have the custom EFI, we need the actual macOS, and we can get that with the Mac Recovery tool. I think I already have that with OpenCore Simplify, but I watched a few videos last night and they downloaded the OpenCore package. So let's just do that. Move it to the desktop and extract. 1812 items. Whoa. Utilities, Mac Recovery. Now if I hold shift and right click, yeah, we can open this directory in PowerShell. Oh, let's open the README. We don't have an app for that. Let's go to the docs. Making the installer in Windows. Downloading macOS. Open a command prompt here. We already did that. Okay, and here are the commands. And there's not one for Tahoe. Oh, it's here. Paste that in. Python was not found. Maybe just Python here? Nope. Yeah, turns out I should have disabled path length limit. Can I just reinstall? Modify? Yes. Add Python to environment variables. Install? Okay, now it should work. And it does. Download complete. So now that we have the EFI and macOS, we need to prepare the USB before we dump it on it, and to do that I'll use Rufus. That's the USB. Let's set boot selection to non-bootable, GBT partition scheme, and exFAT. Start. Ready? Okay, so now it should be as simple as copying first the custom EFI to it. There. Then the docs say we need to make a folder called com.apple.recovery.boot. Okay, into the Mac Recovery again. Oh, I could just have copied this folder. Anyway, we need these two. Paste them to the USB. Oh, an unexpected error is keeping you from covering the file, and it closed the Finder. Try again. Location is not available. What is going on? Before we continue, a quick word about Proton VPN, today's sponsor. Look, I'm not going to pretend that a VPN is a magic solution. They're not. A VPN won't make you anonymous, and it won't solve every privacy problem on its own. But it does one thing well. It routes your traffic through a different server, so websites see that server's IP instead of yours. You're still trusting someone. You're just choosing who that someone is, instead of letting your ISP be the default. I use Proton VPN because it's open source. That means the code can be inspected, which is way better than just taking a company's word for it. They also have a no-logs policy, which means they're not storing what you're doing. Add in the built-in ad and tracker blocking, and it works smoothly across all of my devices. Linux, Windows, macOS, iOS, and Android. Is it a silver bullet? No. Is it a useful tool in a privacy setup? Yeah, it makes sense. If you want to try it out, head to protonvpn.com/foci. Thanks to Proton for supporting the channel. Let's try again. Okay, now it works. Alright, we should be ready for the installation now. So let's reboot and spam delete and F2 to get into the BIOS, as we need to turn off Secure Boot and CSM. So we need to set the USB first in boot priority. Now Secure Boot. Here? Secure boot state is enabled, but it's grayed out. How do I turn it off? Yeah, I spent several minutes here only to read online that when the OS type is set to other OS, it means that secure boot is turned off. Oops. Now we just need to disable CSM, like so. Ooh, OpenCore boot menu. Load image failed. Oh, screen recording stopped. Yeah, I'm no expert, but I don't think this is what's meant to happen. Let's do the old turn it off and on again. Nope. Okay, after a bit of troubleshooting, I think I should try to download macOS again, as that error we got earlier might just be the problem. 958 megabytes. That's definitely more than before. Okay, fingers crossed. Oh, it's doing stuff. And there's the logo. Okay, and we are in. Let's go to Disk Utility and erase the Windows drive. Foci OS, macOS Extended, reinstall macOS Tahoe. Terms of agreement, I'm sure we're good there. This disk doesn't use the GYUD partition table scheme. Okay, let's go back. Can I do anything differently? Oh, convert to APFS. Failed. Show details. A GYUD partition scheme table is required. Yeah, that's the problem. Alright, let's open a terminal and format it there. Actually, let's call it Macintosh. Did it work? Yes. Okay, install, and yes, it works. 3 hours and 19 minutes. Yikes. Oh, 36 minutes. I'm gonna take a cold shower. This is not sped up, just so you know. 29 minutes remaining. We're one step closer. At this point it kept rebooting and doing this a bunch of times, but after installing newer versions of macOS on very old Macs, I know I should just let it do its thing. We actually did it. Yeah. Shh. I'm in Denmark. Set up as new. Continue. Let's go with the owl. Name? Foci. Can you guess my password? Do you remember that joke? Hint. iCough. TOS. Agree. Analytics. I don't think Apple will learn much from this system. Dark mode, obviously. Welcome. Thanks. Will it load? It's been a minute. Oh, yes. I'm not sure whether it's important, but the first thing I'll do is to turn off automatic updates. Done. I'm also gonna turn off screensaver just to be safe. Now, moment of truth about my Mac. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Mac Pro 2019. Does the internet work? It does. OpenCore post-install guide. Booting without USB. Yeah, that'd be nice. We'll first want to grab OpenCore off our installer. To do this, we'll be using a neat tool from Corpnute called Mount EFI. Alright, Mount EFI command. Apple could not verify. Really. In settings, I go to privacy and click open anyway. And we need Python, but I can install it from here. Nice. Yeah, so I spent a few minutes here and it just kinda looped. So instead I went to the terminal and did it manually. Basically replacing the existing EFI on the SSD with the one from the USB. Okay, let's reboot, unplug the USB and see if it works. It does, thank God. Reading through the post-install guide, there are definitely some cool things to try, like adding a fancy GUI and a boot chime, but I'll do that later. I don't want to mess anything up yet. Let's go to settings and see if stuff actually works. Wi-Fi? No. Bluetooth? No. General? A beautiful Mac Pro. Alright, let's install Homebrew. It's a package manager that makes installing stuff way easier. Copy this, paste it here. So we seem to be a bit stuck. Huh. Ooh, I should get the wallpaper from the new macOS Golden Gate. Download zip. Totally safe, I'm sure. And there it is. Beautiful. Okay, we're still stuck. So let's just download the Zen browser the boring way then. Oh, it installed. Brew version? Yeah, we're good. Well then, let's get fast fetch and stats. Now we can see how our Mac Pro is doing. And fast fetch. Sweet. Brew install Ghosty. I want a theme that matches the wallpaper. Okay, fine, I'll make a config. Doesn't that look nice? Now, Zen. Let's see how it performs. Let's get rid of the dock. It actually feels fine so far. What about 4K video streaming? Search for my favorite YouTuber. Today I'll show you how I set up my beefed out MacBook Pro M5 Pro. This is totally fine. Just kidding. This is my favorite channel. It's crazy how glued I am to the screen watching a video about ceiling fans. Our CPU is doing just fine. Okay, gaming. I'll install World of Warcraft because that's really the only game I play, and I actually don't play it. I mean, if I had the time to game, I would be playing WoW. Classic WoW. Finally. WoW on Mac on PC. Oh, this is absolutely fine. I mean, I am only running at 1080p on a 20-year-old game, but still. Let's try to turn the graphics up. And yeah, that's another story. And the fans are definitely ramping up. Okay, let's download Retail WoW and Final Cut. And while that's downloading, I need some footage to edit. And yes, I can connect to my NAS. Nice. A good 20 minutes later and we are ready. Graphics at 3. Okay, this is totally fine. Let's try to turn up the graphics. You know what? I'm actually kinda impressed. Next, editing. Hello? Are you stuck? Nope, there we are. Oh, I didn't need to get footage myself. So far, so good. Not great, not terrible. Is this copyrighted? I hope not. Let's try a magnetic mask. No, I won't be doing any of that. Alright, let's run some benchmarks, just for fun. Disk speed test. Yeah. This is terrible. Who am I kidding? This is my M5 Pro in comparison. Why don't we try Cinebench and Geekbench? Okay, I ran Cinebench testing both multiple and single core performance, but after waiting over an hour for the 10-minute test to complete, I gave up. And honestly, what did you expect? It's terrible, of course. Geekbench worked though, and the 480 got this score. That's fine, right? So far I'm actually kinda impressed. Using Tahoe on this PC is a decent experience. I mean, the system feels kinda snappy. However, I've only been using a 1080p output since I'm recording through my Elgato capture card. But this is indeed a 4K 120Hz monitor, so why don't we try actually running it at that? Let's unplug the card and make a direct connection to the PC. I don't think the HDMI port on the 480 can do 120 Hz, so let's plug in a DisplayPort cable and no. Still locked at 60 FPS. By the way, this is a screen recording using QuickTime and it doesn't slow down the system at all. Nice. Why don't we try to get a cool open core GUI? Actually no. I'm tired and I can't be dealing with more EFI shenanigans, so let's conclude instead. First, doing this experiment hackintoshing on a 2018 budget gaming PC was surprisingly easy. Of course, there were a few hiccups along the way, but seriously, the people behind OpenCore and OpenCore Simplify have done some very impressive work. We owe them all of our support, I think. Second, Tahoe itself ran just fine. You could totally do this and have a genuine macOS experience. Of course, there's the question of why? Well, if you rely on Mac-specific software, that could be a reason. Otherwise, it's like getting the worst of both worlds. An OS with very real software limitations on hardware that would be much better off on, say, Linux. So was this worth it besides the fun factor? No. Absolutely not. Although it did feel really good to do silly stuff and experimenting again. Next week I'll try out NixOS, which I'm really looking forward to. However, if you want to see my actual macOS setup, consider watching this video that no one seemed to be interested in. Thank you so much for watching, and a special thanks to Jan, Lester, Afraris, Cal and Justin, as well as the other members of the channel. You too can become a member of the channel, if it's financially responsible of you. Right now there are 2 tiers with different perks, but in addition to these, all members are invited to join a VIP channel in the Discord. And thanks again to Proton for supporting the channel. Remember, you can check out Proton VPN by going to protonvpn.com/foci. Okay, bye!